Hey guys, so I just finished watching the One Piece live action, and the following video you're about to hear is just sort of a rant. It's very unscripted, and it's just a rant of my thoughts prior to the One Piece live action. It was filmed like right after I finished the final episode, and yeah, it contains spoilers, obviously, for the One Piece live action, so be warned. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you want to and shit, but yeah, let me know what you guys thought of the One Piece live action down below, because I'm actually really excited. Anyways, yeah, let's just go into my rant. Hey guys, I just finished the One Piece live action, and wow, it is wow. I'm just gonna take this time to just rant about it, just because I'm kind of sick right now and I don't want to script, and like, you know, haha, let's have a one-on-one conversation through the internet where I converse with you 4 days ahead of when this will be I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Well, let's just start off with a rant of like things I love, and can I just say Zoro is just so why is he like so beautifully attractive in every single medium possible? Like, you have the anime, you have the manga, you have the live action. This man is just so perfect. But yeah, I just wanted to say, when I was first discussing the One Piece live action based on the trailer, I was talking about how the casting is, in my opinion, perfect, and that hasn't changed one bit. And if anything, it's just gotten more perfect as time has gone on. I feel like Inaki is perfect as Luffy. Emily Rudd is like literally the best Minami possible. Someone who's like an outlier in all of this is Mihawk. He gives off the sassiness Mihawk has, with also like the British amplifying that. He is British, right? Or maybe it's Kobe who's British. Bro, Kobe though. Kobe is such a good Kobe. Like, the actor for Kobe is like Kobe. What the fuck am I saying? Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that I just think all of the cast is so brilliantly casted, and I do think the casting director needs a raise. And Garp, hello, he was so badass. I do have some complaints about Garp, but like, the actor was so perfect for him, it's kind of crazy. I also want to talk about action real quick, because I had a lot of positive things to say about it. That first fight, when we got to see Zoro, Nami, and Luffy versus all of the Marines attacking at them at once, was just so goddamn fun to watch, and it was genuinely some of my favorite action I've ever seen. And then the fight with Zoro and Sanji versus all of the fishmen at once was just so beautifully choreographed. It actually was some of the most fun I've had. It felt like watching an old-timey action movie, and it was just so much fun. And then you have the fight between Zoro and Mihawk, which is just, so goddamn good. You know, I'm starting to think I just like Zoro. Regardless, all of the action in the show has been really, really good. And though at times with Luffy's fight in particular, it felt kind of like slow and dragged out sort of action, especially with like Luffy versus Alvida, it just felt really slow. All of it in general was pretty good. Honestly, the entire live action was like very good. It felt very humane, and characters were actually realistic. Now, obviously, they're not realistic in the way that, well, humans don't usually stretch. I stretch when I see Zoro. What I'm trying to say is that the characters felt like a portrayal of the anime characters, but it didn't feel like a one-to-one copy. It felt more suited for realism, and I think that's just one of the best decisions in general the head of the One Piece live action directors could have made. Like, Luffy felt like an actual possible Luffy. He didn't feel too goofy, but he did still have his normal goofiness factor in it. And Inaki Godoy, I know I said it already, but he's just such a perfect Luffy. He brings that youth energy with him. I just love him so much. Another thing I've really loved about One Piece live action is that it never really felt cringe. Yes, there were some moments that were adapted one-to-one to the original manga, and that obviously had to feel a bit off, but most of the time it flowed naturally, and the comedy was actually really funny. For example, one of the jokes that stuck out to me most was Luffy constantly butchering Buggy's name, and you know he did that shit on purpose too. Like, it was really funny. And then you had Luffy wondering where Zoro's third sword went, and although there are like a multitude of possibilities as to where that sword could have been in, I really need to stop making Zoro sex jokes. What I'm trying to say is that these humor actually felt humor. What? It was funny, alright? The One Piece live action was funny. It wasn't cringy, and I really do think the way the actors actually portrayed their dialogue was a key part in making it not cringy. Another thing that was really important with the One Piece live action to me, though, was that the CGI was good. Like, I was expecting the CGI to be a bit mid, and especially with the gum stretching thing, I had a bit of concern. Not really, I was very positively optimistic about the entire thing, and I was blown away. The CGI always looked really good, and maybe there were like one or two scenarios where it was a bit off, but overall it was so goddamn good. Honestly, I know a lot of people were criticizing Arlong and shit, but I really loved him and the way he looked, but that's just me, you know? Also, another thing I really like is the sets and the costume designs. Like I know how much work and money and time went into this live action, but it gave us something that I could only dream of. Honestly, these sets are so beautifully built, and I just really love all of them. The Baratier in particular is one of the most beautiful set designs I've ever seen in all of media, and I do wish we got to spend more time there, which is kind of weird considering we spent more than like half the entire live action there, but it's just so goddamn beautiful that I just cannot help but love it. And it's just clear with all of this that the amount of love the people working on the show had was enormous. It's honestly probably the same amount me or you love the show. Like, these people put their heart and soul into this, and it paid off, and I am in love with the show. The costume designs in particular I really love, and I really love the Easter eggs to all of the SBS volumes and other stuff that we had, because goddamn. And then some outfits were just really drippy. Like, you can't tell me that Nami wasn't dripped out like this. Speaking of Nami though, in particular, I wanted to talk about her backstory and Sanji's backstory, because these two kiddos really poured their heart and soul out into their performance, and I loved it. Honestly, I have to say, out of everyone, Sanji and Nami's backstories were my favorite. I mean, everything about it was so perfect. What I'm trying to say is that Sanji and Nami's backstories were beautiful. Honestly, all of the Straw Hats had beautiful backstories. However, some of them I didn't like as much, but Sanji and Nami's in particular was just so goddamn good. Oh yeah. Another thing about Nami in particular was the help me scene. Now, I can proudly say, out of all of the East Blue Saga, this is the moment I think of when thinking about the East Blue Saga in the manga. So adapting this perfectly was something that I was really focused on. Like, if the live action did good and everything else but failed at the help me scene, how good could it truly be? And I just want to say, the live action absolutely smashed the help me scene. It gave me literal goosebumps, and I remember sitting on my bed at like 1 a.m. just like, holy shit, I felt that. Oh, Emily Rudd as Nami is just so goddamn perfect. Another thing I want to touch up on is how many Easter eggs there were in the show. Like, honestly, a lot of my time recently has just been watching the Easter eggs in One Piece live action videos, and it's just nice. It's nice to see how many Easter eggs there have been and how many little mentions there are to everything in the show. From the top of my head, I can remember like Goldie Roger's ship in the very beginning of the show, and then like the Calm Belt, the East Blue, and then there's the reference to the freaking little starfish guy's clothing brand. I forgot his name. And finally, another thing I absolutely adored was some of the anime live action original scenes, because they slapped. In particular, I'm talking about Garp and Zeph having a conversation, because come on, you can't tell me two old men right there having a conversation over some meat wasn't one of your like favorite things ever. But with all this being said, honestly, I do think there are some things I'm conflicted about, and in particular, I know it's the one everyone's talking about, but Garp. Now, I'm not saying I hate the fact that Garp is different from how he is in the manga. Like, he's a lot more serious, and he's even asking pirates for help, which is, well, you know, not like him at all. But honestly, it's not even that's my main problem. My main problem with the Garp's addition into this story is that it didn't feel like there was a point. Like, okay, I know, I get it, it was to showcase Kobe and Helmeppo's growth. By the way, side note, I was not expecting to be flashed by Helmeppo's cheeks in the very first episode. You know what? I'm not complaining. What I'm trying to say is that Garp's storyline didn't really feel like it had a point, especially at the very end in the last episode when Garp just kind of let Luffy go. Like, what was the point of the entire chase if that was the eventual outcome? Also, I just like really did not like the fact that Garp's cannonball, like Garp got rolled by Luffy and his crew whose ship wasn't even functioning a second ago. Like, I did not like that part, I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was funny to see him like be proud of Luffy afterwards, and I can't lie, his laugh being like, haha, that's my boy, was really like funny, and it really warmed my heart. But I just cannot lie, it makes Garp look a lot weaker than he actually is. And sure, that last sequence where Garp absolutely shits on Luffy was nice to add in, so it makes us realize how powerful Garp is. At the end of the day, it didn't feel like his storyline had much point, and honestly, a major consequence of the Garp storyline is that it took time away from the Straw Hat storyline, which is another one of my complaints, is that at times it felt too fast. Like, wow, I just said something related to One Piece had too fast pacing. Especially in like the very first episode, it felt like we were just hitting things to hit things. Like, I mean, we were trying to stay loyal to the manga, so at times it felt like we were just going through a checklist and not actually developing the story. Like, we beat Alvida, we head out to Shell's Town, we meet Zoro. Honestly, I think it got better as the series progressed and we had more and more time to bond with our characters, but that was a problem for me. And then finally, another like very nitpicky thing is the fact that it was a 3v1 to beat Axe Hand Morgan. Now, this is literally just a power scaling dilemma. Like, is Morgan like stronger than Arlong or something is that it's not that major. It's just something that stuck out to me as like a really big nerd, but honestly not even like a really big problem. Oh, one thing that I did not enjoy too much, however, is that Kid Luffy felt very different from Inaki Luffy. Like, Kid Luffy felt a lot more serious and not as goofy. I don't know if this is just me, but he felt a little more like angry? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Overall though, the One Piece live action slapped. It was genuinely one of my favorite experiences watching the show ever, and these 8 episodes literally made me super happy for an entire weekend. Like, this past weekend, all I've been doing is watching One Piece, and that feeling that when I finished the show and there was no more left reminded me of the feeling I had when I caught up to the manga and I realized I'd have to wait. So I'm really sad that we're gonna have to wait a bit more to get a season 2, but I cannot wait for a season 2. And also, I'm just really happy with how successful the One Piece live action has been. In case you guys don't know, it's broken Wednesday and Stranger Things season 4 record. One Piece is going global now, and I'm just really proud of it. Honestly, the amount of love everyone at the One Piece live action team has that put into the show is just so goddamn nice, and honestly, I just really love the show. And yeah, honestly, one of my favorite things about the One Piece live action is to see how many people from my real life, like friends, are talking about it. Like, one person texted me that they were gonna watch the actual One Piece anime because of the live action, and that just put a big ass smile on my face. That's the type of thing I really love. And I had my doubts, but it's been blown away, and I'm actually very excited for season 2 because that Smoker cameo at the end of the season 1 had me very excited. Overall though, that's it for me. Thank you. Okay, I just want to add this in here at like the end, but I just want to say I'm so sorry for taking so long to put out this, which isn't even scripted and it's just like a rant, and especially it's like 2 weeks after the One Piece live action even came out. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that I'll try to be more consistent with my uploads, but school is kicking my ass hardcore, like very hard, like impeccably hard. I think I have season like 2 classes already, but yeah, I'll try harder. But yeah, thanks guys. Bye for real now. Love you. Be safe. Make sure to take care of yourselves.